Social media is doomed and AI is coming for it. You can see it already across every platform. AI slop that some people astonishingly believe is real, M-dashes everywhere, deranged LinkedIn comments and posts that come from a totally unfiltered ChatGPT. I log into Instagram very occasionally these days. I find it a kind of brain stew, or McDonald's for the mind, a giant endless slot machine of titillation. And with each login I find that reality has been chipped away that little bit more, and more, and more, and more, until I can't really tell what is real anymore. AI will eat social media alive. I say this as a person who has spent an inordinate amount of time with social media since it arrived, round about when I turned 21. My whole career has had something to do with it. I was hooked on Facebook for more than a decade, went networking on Twitter, was head of social media for a national newspaper in the UK, got 45,000 followers on Instagram and published an entire novel on stories, and spent a year growing to 12,000 on LinkedIn, and now I'm here talking to you on YouTube. Clearly I'm not a refusenik. Clearly social media has been a big part of my life. But as I live and work, I just see its inevitable destruction at the hands of AI. The soul will be ripped out of the body. It is doomed. It's quite clear to me that the internet most people know, the web that was created around 2003, is coming to an AI-generated end. This era is known as Web 2.0, or the Web as Platform by Tim O'Reilly. Its big achievement was basically taking publishing systems from the back end and placing them at the front end, which democratized content creation and distribution. Then in 2007, with the creation of cloud computing and big data systems like Hadoop, this could really scale. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube all popped up around this era. Massive photo libraries, video uploads, and microblogging became all-encompassing. But all social media became the same. Its focus on grabbing attention optimized itself into sameness. LinkedIn is basically technically the same as Facebook in that it has the same features: feed, DMs, comments, vertical video, profile. Instagram is the same as TikTok with the endless scroll of videos. It copies stories direct from Snapchat. Facebook had stories. LinkedIn and Twitter even had stories, but they took them off because no one used them. When Elon Musk took over Twitter and ruined it, then made it X, it lost the features that made it unique, like character limits. And it basically became the same as everything else, just with a different audience. YouTube has YouTube Shorts, the same as Instagram Reels and TikTok and Facebook Reels and LinkedIn videos. It has community posts. Now it's different, but it's the same. Every platform now has vertical video. All of it is the same. To stop you from leaving, they all denied the wider internet existed. Having made publishers semi-reliant on its traffic, Facebook whipped away the carpet and made link sharing seriously deprioritized in its algorithm. No surprises that LinkedIn did the same. Or X. Instagram and TikTok never even bothered linking out in the first place. This is the web as platform, 2003 to now. Social media has become enshittified and self-referring. It's all been optimized for broadcasting engagement, not connection. With this enshittification comes a rising tide of bullshit. With bullshit working, why not just copy what everyone else does using AI? You can see it in the writing, you can see it in the terrible images, the AI slop videos. There are so many obvious AI turns of phrase that I can increasingly spot AI writing a mile off. So much that I've created my own Claude system prompts so that they never appear in its outputs. The M-dashes, the bizarre breathless lists, maddening turns of phrase that I, nor many others, would actually ever use. But AI is actually trained on human writing. It only writes in commonalities. It's trained on the sum total of what's available on the internet. And let's accept, a lot of that is dross. Vast amounts of sludge. The 98% of human content you never actually see because no one has infinite attention. The sheer scale of it is remarkable. While it was on a limited dataset, research from SEO firm Graphite estimated that 52% of all new written content on the internet is now AI generated. That crossed the 50% threshold in late 2024. Meanwhile, cybersecurity firm Imperva found that 51% of all internet traffic is now bots, not humans. More than half of everything online, both the content and the traffic consuming it, is artificial. Developer Simon Willison, one of the early proponents of the term slop, told The Guardian that naming the problem matters. Before the term spam entered general use, he said, it wasn't clear to everyone that unwanted marketing messages were bad behaviour. He was hoping slop would have the same impact. It did. Slop was named Merriam-Webster's 2025 Word of the Year. The dictionary now has an entry for this garbage. Jason Kubler of the tech news site 404 Media called what's happening a zombie internet, a place where bots, humans, and hijacked accounts that were once real people all blend together until there's almost no genuine social connection left. On Facebook, which has arguably been hit the hardest, researchers from Stanford and Georgetown tracked 120 pages frequently posting AI-generated images and found they collectively received hundreds of millions of engagements and exposures. Many users engaging with the content didn't realize it was AI. Josh Goldstein of Georgetown, one of the study's authors, called it a new kind of engagement bait. Content that is visually arresting, cheap to produce, and optimize for the recommendation algorithm. Facebook's own Transparency Center data confirmed it. 2 of the top 5 most widely viewed images on the platform in Q3 2024 were AI generated, viewed 38.6 million and 35.8 million times respectively. Meanwhile, more than 31% of all content viewed on Facebook was from accounts unconnected to the user, served up entirely by the algorithm. That's up from 8% in 2021, and it goes far beyond Facebook. A study by the video editing company Kapwing found that more than 20% of videos shown to new YouTube users are AI slop. A third of the first 500 videos recommended to a fresh account were classified as brain rot. Globally, 278 AI slop channels have amassed 63 billion views and 221 million subscribers, generating around $117 million in revenue each year. One channel alone, India's Banda Apna Dost, which features AI-generated adventures of an anthropomorphic monkey fighting demons on a helicopter made of tomatoes, has 2.4 billion views and earns an estimated $4.25 million annually. Theodore Cazals, a 20-year-old student from Paris, started an account on X called Insane AI Slop to document the phenomenon. He told the BBC that one image pushed him over the edge. 2 emaciated South Asian children with inexplicable thick beards, one with no hands and only 1 foot, sitting in the middle of a busy road in the pouring rain with a birthday cake. Now, the image was obviously AI generated, but it got nearly 1 million likes. Theodore's account grew to over 133,000 followers, but he doesn't post as much anymore. He's largely resigned himself to the new normal. I'm not dogmatically against AI, I'm against the pollution online of AI slop that's made for quick entertainment and views. There's actually a growing global industry behind this, and it's surprisingly mundane. Researchers at Queensland University of Technology interviewed a social media entrepreneur called Zwinan, who runs 6 different TikTok accounts, each with more than 100,000 followers. He earned more than $5,500 from TikTok in a single month. For a fee, he teaches others how to replicate his success, sharing his most effective AI prompts, video headlines, and hashtags tailored for different platforms. His tutorial is called Side Job, Self-Employed, High Paid. His students are housewives, unemployed people, college students. Some of us also do Uber driving or street vending, one of them said. One creator, a stay-at-home mother, told researchers she preferred it to gig economy work like food delivery. You can do it from your phone, at home, for basically nothing. Zwinnan's method, she says, is to use AI to earn from the productivity gap by producing far more content than people who don't use AI. The researchers found that many of these creators are from non-Western countries, particularly India, Vietnam, and China. One Chinese social media influencer told the researchers that China's short video market is nearing saturation, which means you have to seek data traffic on overseas platforms. A common strategy is a kind of platform arbitrage. Take a viral video from Douyin, the Chinese counterpart of TikTok, add AI-generated translation and narration, and post it on TikTok targeting Western audiences. Despite clunky AI dubbing and error-riddled subtitles, these videos routinely get hundreds of thousands of views. The creators manage dozens of accounts targeting viewers in different countries in what they call an account matrix. The BBC tracked a network of Pakistan-based content creators collaborating on how to make money through Meta's content monetization program. One account, Abdul Mujiz, posted screenshots claiming to have earned $20,000 through social media monetization, with more than 1.2 billion views across 4 months. Among this account's many posts were AI-generated photos of fictional Holocaust victims with fabricated stories, children hiding under the floorboards, a baby left on train tracks outside a concentration camp. The Auschwitz Memorial in Poland called these images a dangerous distortion, and said their own genuine posts were now attracting comments saying, "Oh, this is an AI-generated photograph." Paweł Sawicki, a spokesperson for the memorial, said the fake images were turning real suffering into some kind of strange emotional game. On YouTube and Telegram, influencers from India and the Philippines coach followers on how to make money from slop. In one video, tracked by The Telegraph, an influencer told followers to create viral images depicting an old man being eaten by insects. The Indian audience is very emotional. After seeing photos like this, they like, comment and share them. He promised followers they could make 4 lakh, about £3,700 per month. The content is also becoming darker. A quick look at the r/Facebook AI Slop subreddit, as documented by Futurism, reveals the macabre underbelly. One video features an anthropomorphic cat family where a kitten accidentally ends up in a meat grinder while dinner is being prepared. The parents unknowingly eat the remains. Another clip shows a shark doctor repainting the skin colour of newborn babies in a maternity ward. The content is getting worse because the algorithms reward shock and outrage, and AI makes shock trivially easy to produce. Now, I'm not denying there are good AI creations. I use AI in all sorts of ways, but I use it as an assistant, something that helps me get from A to B that little bit quicker. Most people seem to use it as a substitute or replacement for a talent they never really had, and the platforms are actively encouraging this. Facebook's shift started before the AI wave. Feeling the heat from TikTok's emphasis on entertainment over social connections, Meta redesigned users' home feeds into what CNN reported as a discovery engine, pushing content that people might not otherwise see. The algorithms started promoting discoverability over human connection. AI slop was the perfect content for that system: cheap, visually interesting, and optimized for engagement. Mark Zuckerberg recently made this explicit. In Meta's Q4 2025 earnings call, he told investors soon we'll see an explosion of new media formats that are more immersive and interactive, and only possible because of advances in AI. Soon you'll open our apps and you'll have an AI that understands you and also happens to be able to show you great content or even generate great personalized content for you. He calls this the third era of social media. The first was content from friends and family. The second was creators. The third is AI. Meta launched an app called Vibes where users have already generated over 20 billion AI images. Meta AI has more than 1 billion monthly active users. Zuckerberg talks about building a unified AI system to optimize trillions of recommendations daily. YouTube is also bringing in a host of AI features. In its 2026 product roadmap, CEO Neal Mohan announced that creators will soon be able to produce shorts using AI avatars of themselves, digital twins that replicate their face, voice, and presenting style. Over 1 million channels already use YouTube's AI creation tools daily. YouTube frames this as empowerment, not replacement. AI technology should be a tool that expands creators' creativity, Mohan said. But think about what that actually means in practice. A creator records themselves once, builds an avatar, and then that avatar produces content on their behalf indefinitely. The creator becomes an operator, not a performer. Their face is on screen, their voice is speaking, but they're not really there. It's them, but it isn't. This is where Slop starts to get philosophical. I wrote about this in the Absolutely Agentic newsletter back in February 2025, when digital twinning was mostly theoretical. The questions I posed then have only become more urgent. If a creator's AI avatar makes a video, do they need to label it as AI content, even though the avatar is recognisably them? When the original creator can't be distinguished from the digital representation of themselves, what does authentic even mean? And does a creator now manage what are effectively faceless channels, where they're represented by digital versions of themselves at a fraction of the production cost? YouTube says it will mandate labelling and implement safeguards against deepfake misuse. But the labelling question gets genuinely strange when the AI content is you. It's not a content farm in Pakistan generating fake Holocaust victims. It's a legitimate creator whose digital twin is doing their presenting for them while they're asleep, or on holiday, or working on something else entirely. The platforms aren't just tolerating synthetic content, they're building the infrastructure to make every creator synthetic by default. If this becomes standard, then attention will become even more saturated. And it goes further than creators. Meta's AI Studio now lets anyone create AI characters with bios, profile pictures, and the ability to post and share content. Connor Hayes, Meta's Vice President of Generative AI, told the Financial Times that hundreds of thousands of AI characters have already been created. We expect these AIs to actually, over time, exist on our platforms, kind of in the same way that accounts do, he said. So it's not just AI-generated content, but AI-generated users. Synthetic accounts that post, comment, and engage like real people. Some of the most popular user-created bots on Instagram are AI girlfriends and boyfriends. Liberty Vertert, a data science professor at Olin Business School, called them this silent epidemic of loneliness that we've seen amongst young men. Meta briefly launched its own official AI character accounts, then pulled them after public outcry in January 2025. But the user-created ones remain. The vision is pretty clear. A platform you can't tell who's real, and the company doesn't particularly want you to be able to tell. But I suppose the business logic is simple. Social media companies make money from attention. All engagement is good engagement. If AI slop generates engagement more cheaply than human content, why would platforms fight it? Facebook's Vice President of Product, Jagjit Chawla, told CNET that the algorithm responds to what users watch. If you watch AI content, you'll get more AI content. If you don't want it, the algorithm should respond appropriately. Reading between the lines, users watching in horror as their feeds degrade are the source of their own problem, because even horrified scrolling counts as engagement. Meanwhile, both Meta and X have cut their moderation, trust, and safety teams. David Evan Harris, an AI researcher who previously worked on responsible AI at Meta, told CNN that the company's smaller team now relies on automated moderation systems that can be gamed. Harris described a black market for aged Facebook accounts because older accounts are more likely to appear human and evade spam filters. You can sell someone 1,000 of these accounts that are all 5 years or older, he said, and then they can turn those into a scam or an influence operation. He gave an example. Someone creates a Facebook group called Everybody Loves Cheeseburgers and posts images of the best cheeseburgers every day for 2 years. Then, a month before an election, it becomes a Vote for Bolsonaro group. The infrastructure for authenticity is being dismantled just as the tools for fakery become more powerful. Tools like Claude Code or OpenClaw are enabling people to deploy AI agents that create fake engagement at scale. YouTube offers to write comments for you, while on LinkedIn you see the endless soulless bot crap. I get one AI comment on nearly every post. It's so strange. These people I've never met before returning with these stilted, robotic questions. My reply generally is, did ChatGPT or Gemini write that comment for you? The companies that should be policing this problem are the ones creating it. But what is the ultimate outcome? All content essentially becomes producible by a prompt. The superintelligent AGI destroys the need for any creativity at all, and that can only come from the cesspool of social media. If social media didn't exist, generative AI would have nowhere to go. But it does. And through Gen AI, social media will eat itself. The weaponization is already here. During the US government shutdown in late 2025, AI-generated videos made with OpenAI's Sora 2 flooded TikTok showing fabricated scenes of people selling their food stamps for cash. One clip got nearly 500,000 views. Most commenters appear to have no idea it was AI. Some did realise, but shared it anyway. That's AI, one commenter noted. But that is what is happening, another replied. In reality, food assistance fraud is vanishingly rare, but the Slop manufactured consent for cutting a program that feeds 42 million people, 2/3 of whom are children, elderly or disabled. On a YouTube channel called Buffet Battle, AI-generated clips show poor people rioting in supermarkets, demanding tomahawk steaks and stealing food. The videos use racial stereotypes so vicious they read like propaganda, and in a sense, that's what they are. AI has become a tool for perpetuating the myth of the welfare queen, a stereotype dating back to Ronald Reagan, now generated at machine speed and distributed to millions. The President of the United States posted an AI-generated video of himself in a fighter jet labelled King Trump wearing a crown, dropping what appeared to be feces on protesters at a No Kings rally. The Vice President responded to one of the depicted targets with a joke. This is the political communication of the world's leading power. Even in places you wouldn't expect, the rot is spreading. AI-generated foraging books sold on Amazon turned out to contain potentially lethal misidentifications of wild mushrooms. An AI-generated Microsoft travel article listed the Ottawa Food Bank as a must-see attraction in the Canadian capital. A CNN reporter investigated a Facebook page called History for Everyone that shared AI-generated black and white images with captions stolen from the Library of Congress. The page had previously been called Cubs, and then chicken.nugget. It had 40,000 followers. Plant communities on Reddit have had to ban AI content after users were scammed into buying seeds for plants that don't exist, like pink pastel monsteras, a variation that's genetically impossible. Garden centres now field calls about AI-generated plants multiple times a week. Casey Schmidt-Ahl, who works at a garden centre in Pennsylvania, told The Verge that AI is disconnecting us further from reality, relationships with nature, and also our community. That line stays with me. Disconnecting from reality. There's something almost poetic about a technology trained on human expression being used to sever human connection. And the advertising industry is starting to notice. Farhad Devecha, managing director of UK-based digital marketing agency Acuracast, told The Guardian that his team is encountering cases where users are mistakenly flagging real advertisements as AI-made slop. If consumers start to feel they are being served rubbish all the time, he said, the entire economic model of social media is at risk. Ed Newton-Rex, founder of Fairly Trained, a non-profit advocating for creative rights, put it this way: if platforms value human creativity, they should label and downrank outputs in which human creative involvement is minimal. He added, I think the latent demand for spaces that are human first is higher than many companies realise. I think he's right, but I also think that economic incentives point the other way. The irony is that AI needs us to exist at all. Generative AI was trained on decades of human creativity, human connection, and human expression. It learned to write from our writing, to create images from our images, to mimic human interaction by learning how humans interact. But if AI slop drowns out authentic human content, what will the next generation of AI be trained on? The models will train on AI-generated content, which will generate more AI content, which will train the next models. Researchers call this model collapse, a degradation spiral where AI trained on AI produces increasingly generic, increasingly meaningless outputs. AI will eat social media, and then itself, and we'll be left scrolling through the remains. To be fair, there is pushback. YouTube says it's working to reduce the spread of low-quality AI content. Under many viral AI videos, comments calling out the content get more likes than the original post. Harris, the former Meta researcher, told CNN that digitally savvy communities have always been 1.5 steps ahead of trust and safety efforts. Maybe that grassroots skepticism is the antibody. But I don't think most people signed up for this. Social media was supposed to connect us. It was supposed to let us share our lives with people we care about across distances that would have made that impossible for most of human history. The promise was connection. What we're getting is a constant slurry optimized for engagement metrics, increasingly generated by machines, consumed by other machines, with humans as an afterthought. So AI will eat social media alive. You've been watching Absolutely Agentic. We're a media consultancy and startup focused on AI, and we create weekly YouTube videos and a newsletter we send a few times a week. In a world of AI hype, we're trying to strike a balance, looking at a range of opinions to cut through an increasingly complex world. The best thing you can do to support us is sign up to the newsletter in the description or subscribe to the channel. But also don't forget to like and leave us a friendly comment. See you next time. It'll be absolutely agentic.